We had high hopes for the Florida State defense in 2020, and they let Seminole fans down. Linebacker was another spot that could have played better. We got Logan Robinson on the line from Knoll Game Day to help us break down the position after checking out spring practice. Logan was out there for a number of scrimmages, plus, of course, the one that everybody saw at the spring game. Logan, how's it going?
Doing good, Mark. How are you? Fantastic. Wonderful day to always talk Florida State football. Always.
Absolutely. So here's another position, just like about any other one on the offense and the defense, where if you look historically, it's like, okay, well, you can talk about great college football players, NFL players, Hall of Fame players at that level, but not so much in the last few years. So if anything, though, you've got young players that have experience because just about everybody's back that did anything last year. So at least they've got reps. They've been on campus. They've been in the system. They should know what they're doing, be in the right spot to make some improvements this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The unit last year, I think, really lacked a spring. You had a new position coach with Chris Marv coming in, very well respected young guy. I think the future is bright under him, but I think this team, I mean, definitely the unit, the team overall, we know really lacked a spring, but this unit for sure needed it. This was a position group along with Florida State's offensive line that needs extra coaching. It's been one of the poorest units on the team in the last several years, and I think there's a lot of growing here, but there is young talent to look forward to. It is a growing group, and I think it is going to make a pretty a solid jump heading into next season. There's a lot of young cats that got a lot of playing time last year, and I think this is what Mike Norvell just went ahead and did, let them get a lot of PT during big games, find different responses, be able to look back at that, watch film, and see how they can improve before their second season. So a lot of true freshmen got PT last year.
So Logan, if we're going to go to the top of the board here, who do you think's the alpha dog? Who's the best player at the linebacking spot, whether that's inside or outside?
I think for a young guy, I think there's two different alphas. I think number one, your veteran is Emmett Rice. It really depends on him and how healthy he will be. There's been some rumors around that he's been dealing with a knee injury. I mean, it's not really a rumor. He's been walking around a little wobbly during that second scrimmage, didn't play. But there is some rumors that he's dealing with a knee injury. We'll see how that goes, and maybe if he's got knee surgery recovery to go through, we'll see. But I think your veteran guy is definitely Emmett Rice. He finished off the season very well. And then the young guy, I think the top dog is Steven Dix Jr. Came into the class and worked his tail off and put himself in good shape for last year. Made some mistakes here and there, but as a true freshman, rather go ahead and take those now, look back at it and watch film, like I was saying earlier, and try to resolve some of those. Put yourself in the position during the run game defense in a better spot, or maybe out in coverage. I think those two guys are your alphas. If Emmett Rice is fully ready to go, I think those are your alphas heading into the season.
Emmett Rice, 61 stops last year, second on the team to Amari Gaynor, 7.5 tackles for loss. And for Steven Dix, he was right behind him, 44 tackles, third on the team, 3.5 tackles for loss. Probably the most, you got two players coming in from the recruiting cycle of 2021, and Patrick Payton, 21st rated outside linebacker in the country, and Jordan Eubanks out of Texas. We'll see if they can vie for a little bit of playing time, but neither one of them are going to be in until the fall, so it might be a little bit difficult. Who else could come into play here?
I think you'll see a lot of DJ Lundy and Amari Gaynor. The thing lacking for Gaynor last season, I think he's a great player. His physical attributes are fantastic. He looks like a young baby Telvin Smith with how similar they look body type wise. But I think the defense and Adam Fuller and where they were putting him at and utilizing him was piss poor for a lot of the season. It was pathetic. He should not be used. He shouldn't only be utilized in games and goal line packages. I don't understand how that was happening. It was very embarrassing. That's why there was a lot of heat going towards Adam Fuller and people wanting to move on from him right after just one season. They got to find a better way to use Amari Gaynor. And it was good to see, at least during these few scrimmages and also the spring game, and him being used for majority of these packages going through drives and starting a few of them. And it's just that guy and those kind of athletic options that you have with him and how physical he is against offensive players and shedding off of blocks and making tackles. You got to find a better way to use him. I understand that you didn't have a spring. Maybe there was some lacking things in the film room. I don't really know, but you've got to use Amari Gainer. That's why, I mean, he would be my number one alpha dog if they was being used, I think, in a better way of sorts. But I gotta try to trust Fuller and understanding where he's going to be put at this season. But I think that's your next big cat.
I think when Kirk Herbstreit did the Florida State North Carolina game, I remember him saying when he reviewed the tape and was studying for the game that week, he said the best player in the field's Amari Gainer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and he didn't get to see a lot of him last season, and we didn't understand. I know James Coleman has been on our show too on Wednesday nights, and we've all kind of just been flabbergasted in the ways that he was being utilized last year. And I just remember being in the stands and watching Amari Gainer, number 33, only coming off the sideline for goal line packages. Not a small guy, but one of your smaller guys only being used in that linebacker unit as a goal line package. Doesn't really make sense to me when you could throw in DJ Lundy, even a Steven Dix Jr., Emmett Rice. It was shocking, to say the least.
Logan Robinson, Knoll Game Day. Check out our live show that comes your way every Wednesday night, 6 o'clock Eastern time right here. And also Logan's podcast, Hear the Spear. And we're breaking down all the positions. We did some during camp, and we're going to run through the rest to get you set for fall camp. So all the position breakdowns right here. Logan, anything else on this group?
Not too much. I think a lot of this is going to rest on the health with Emmett Rice. That's their veteran guy. I really like the way that he finished off the season last year, definitely in the run game defense. But I think a second year, it was nice seeing Coach Marv and Fuller and Norvell allowing a lot of these young cats. I thought it was very smart, allowing Lundy and Steven Dix Jr. to get a lot of PT last year. I think it is going to turn into something really good for them heading this season, number 2 for them in their careers. So we should see some smarter plays from those two youngins with Lundy and Dix.
Okay, Logan, appreciate you stepping by, breaking down the Knolls for us.
Thank you, Mark, as always.